Well, here we are. Kurt Angle had his big reveal on Raw, and surprise, surprise, it is dividing audiences because that's what wrestling does. Splits everybody down the middle. But this is Ups and Downs for Raw, the show where we do go through WWE's flagship program and we basically review it. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Simon, you're watching WhatCulture, and you're in for a great time. Anyway, let's get to it. Let's fly through the madness, give some ups and give some downs. Right, so I'm kind of screwed here because I have to give the Kurt Angle reveal an up because last week I said I'd take anything other than it being something to do with Dixie Carter, and this was anything but that. So it's getting an up because of, what I said. However, before you go nuts, listen to my words. Now, no, I don't think it's the worst thing in the world. It is a little bit cheesy. It is a little bit weird when you take a step back and think about what we're seeing. But it did put a spotlight on a young guy who we want to become like a bigger guy. So that's good. At least they're trying to make something out of Jason Jordan, who is now Kurt Angle's secret love child. And being associated with Angle is no bad thing. And if this does result in Jordan getting pushed, becoming like a top dude and winning titles, then okay, great. It served its purpose. However, there are also some questions here. For example, would Stone Cold Steve Austin become Stone Cold Steve Austin, or The Rock become The Rock, if their big catalyst for change was that they were somebody's secret spawn? Probably not, to be honest, because mainly that's a real tough gimmick to shake off when eventually you need to shake it off. People are always going to remember this, associate it with you. So when you're trying to become the big bad serious dude, people will go like, nah mate, you came out of Kurt Angle's penis. No, kinda. I don't mean literally. We're moving on. It's just a bit too soap opera, and while there is nothing wrong with a bit of soap opera in wrestling, I just don't think that's the kind of performer that Jason Jordan is, or was, or will become. I'm basically not sure where this goes down the line, how it actually helps, aside from the fact, as we've said, that it will allow a spotlight to be shone on him. Also, why does he get to be on Raw just because he's Kurt Angle's son? Where's that rule book? So John Cena can just be a free agent, and if you are associated, a family member of someone, you can just go wherever you want. Okay, cool. That's good to know. I also think it's only fair to throw in that in a week where WWE cancelled Talking Smack, the more reality side of wrestling, they've started to introduce more fantastical storylines onto something like Raw. And to be honest, I'm not 100% sure that's what the audience wants at the moment. I think they'd rather go reality over like weird narrative written crazy stuff. But credit to WWE for creating an intriguing storyline that did have a payoff that got people talking, because let's face it, Kurt Angle could have walked out there and gone, oh no, my gold medals were stolen, or I stole my gold medals for money. And that would have been terrible and ridiculous. I mean, this still was a bit ridiculous, but we have to wait to see where it goes. Let's see where it goes. We don't know yet. Although, yes, why this would ever have ruined Kurt Angle's career, I don't know. You didn't do anything wrong, Kurt Angle. You did nothing wrong. You had some good times in university, and the person you had good times with didn't tell you that they'd given birth. You can't help that. Doesn't ruin your career or your reputation, so you lied. Don't lie. Let's see where it goes, but between you and I, if this is the start of Raw bringing back these long-arching storylines that I can buy into, even if the end result isn't exactly great, I'm alright with that, because that's much better what they usually do, where Raw comes and goes and no one gives a crap. I also did do a quick poll on Twitter to get your either up or you're either down for the Kurt Angle reveal. And down won by 58%, but that's still close. That's almost 50-50. So, even though I gave it an up mostly because of the Dixie Carter thing, I can understand why you gave it a down. Rewinding to the start of the show though, I liked all of that, so it's getting a lovely up. Admittedly, all this teasing of a Shield reunion without actually talking about Roman Reigns has now become weird because, Roman Reigns is right there. I know he's doing his own thing, but we're having a Shield reunion, haha, maybe, and not even an interviewer. Not even an interviewer when they were talking to Ambrose and Rollins went, gonna chat to Roman? No? Okay. But again, at least we now have a little seed planted between Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins, and we can get to see it play out over the next few weeks. And no one else is saying this but me, but I want this to end when Ambrose turns heel. That would be awesome. How we haven't seen that so far in the WWE is beyond me, and everything here would work so well because although Ambrose has justification, if it does happen just before we get a mini Shield reunion, then fans are gonna go nuts. And you get a role reversal, So I don't think I'd mind seeing Ambrose versus Rollins again, especially if it happens at SummerSlam, or the turn happens at SummerSlam, because it's like a changing of the guard when they fought before, and the feud did go on for about 72 years, but then we had Rollins as a heel and Ambrose as the face, switch it round, good times. Here though, we did have a big back and forth, and Rollins was all like, "Oh Dean, here, I'm so sorry, smack me in my back with a chair and everything will be okay," and Ambrose teased it but eventually walked away. And then the Miz Taraj came out, they did beat up Ambrose and Rollins, and then they left, and yeah, it was alright. Which does bring us to our first down of the day, and you can be a bit mad about this one, because it's not fair, because out of context, it doesn't matter, but with context, it does. I like that Bayley got a win over Alexa Bliss, because it does help rehab her, because she has had a terrible few months, and if you beat the champ, well, that's only going to do you good. However, Bayley is also beating your women's champion, and Bayley has been treated terribly over the last few months. So why on earth can't WWE think these things out beforehand before just throwing it all in a pot and none of it making any sense? The match was fine, but it does crack a big, huge hole in the middle of the women's division, because now everybody seems like a loser. And other than that, it was all right between Sasha Banks and Nia Jax and Bayley and Alexa Bliss. It was a bit too much. And that's why down number 2 for the day is going for the backstage segment between Kurt Angle, Sasha Banks and Bayley, because Banks and Bayley bickered like children. Like children! Come on! You're gonna have to get mad at me though, because can you believe it? Titus O'Neal this week is getting it up. I'm very sorry. Admittedly, it does overshadow the Cruiserweight division way too much, but I can't help it. I found his interactions with Apollo Crews and Tozawa exceptionally entertaining, so what am I meant to do? Can't lie to myself. I can't lie to you. And then he basically cost Tozawa his match with Daivari after getting involved, thinking, "Oh no, you're getting hurt and we've got to think about you long term." And I enjoyed that as well. I don't really know why. I think basically because it is a story that I watched last week and the week before that, and now it's continuing, and Tozawa genuinely seems pissed off, as you would be if someone interfered in your match when you didn't want them to. But I liked it, for better or worse. Probably worse. Let's move on and never talk about this again. On the subject of the Cruiserweights too, we didn't have any purple ropes this week, which I've been going on about for ages. So that's got to get up. There was still like an aura of purple, given the lights or whatever they do. And part of me actually thinks this wasn't a decision, it was a production mistake, like somebody forgot the purple ropes, or they ran out of time. And I think when we get to Raw next week, the purple ropes are going to be back. However, as we've done elsewhere, let's give WWE the benefit of the doubt for now, and keep our fingers crossed. Just have them part of the show. That's okay. Up for that 205 Live tag match featuring Jack Gallagher and Kendrick and whatever. Yeah, fine, I don't care. Up. Unfortunately though, for the first time, we do have to give all the Big Cass and Enzo stuff a down, because this week, it kind of felt like WWE didn't know where to go next with it. Enzo came out and he cut a decent promo, but it went on for ages, and eventually he was just talking gibberish, and then Big Cass encountered him, and then Big Show came out. They had a big schmoz. It just didn't work. Felt really messy. Cass standing tall at the end of this was good because he does need to keep his momentum up, but for a story that's been so simple and straightforward from the start, well, I think this may have been the jump the shark moment. Sometimes it is alright just to have highlight and reminder packages. Don't have to do something if you've got nothing to do, and that's what this felt like. It's like, whoa, we gotta get Big Cass and Enzo on the show somehow. We'll do that with vignettes and videos. This didn't work for me. And it is another down because, yeah, it eventually wore me down. The Balor, Wyatt, Drifter stuff. I mean, what is going on? It's a down. For starters, Balor and Elias Sansom had another match, which makes absolutely no sense, because last week, Finn pinned him clean as a whistle. So that was silly and annoyed me. I was sat there going, well, why did I care about last week if this week that seems to be ignored? It finished with a DQ when Samson smashed Balor with his guitar. I don't know about you, I don't think that guitar was gimmicked. You should probably gimmick the guitar, WWE. And then who turned up on the screen? Bray Wyatt. Now I know a lot of people get upset with me when I do talk badly about Bray Wyatt, but here's my point. Here's a dude with all the potential in the world, and all he's ever asked to do is the same thing week in, week out, even though it didn't work before, but they think now all of a sudden it's going to work, and it's not. And once again, he was just talking mumbo jumbo here. I have no reasoning as to why he would want to feud with Finn Balor other than he doesn't like the rain. With Rollins it was about the sun, and with Balor it's about the rain. I am up for seeing Bray versus Finn, especially if it goes down at SummerSlam, because you can have the crazy cult guy against the demon, but I need more than just, well, WWE wants this, so this is what WWE is going to give me. Look how much better things are when WWE does take their time and lets things grow and lets things develop. That's much better than hotshot angles that come out of nowhere even if we aren't talking about illegitimate love child. But at least that was something. There was some depth there, as opposed to some crazy guy on a big screen talking about the weather. That's how I feel anyway, and I know it annoys you, so I apologise for that. I don't want to annoy anyone, but you know, it's just my gut. And I love that Hardy's revival match though. Boy, did I love that shiz. So that's an up. If this broken universe stuff isn't sorted yet, then fair play to the Hardys for just throwing caution to the wind and being like, hey, we're going to do this anyway, because this was as close to the characters in the WWE as we've got. It was hilarious. The bout itself was also top, and Jeff did eat the pin again, which is surely going to tie in when they do pull the trigger on the broken stuff, and the revival winning and then celebrating like they've just taken over the world. Well, that was great too. The Hardys are such big stars, they can handle losses like this, and they're elevating other teams in the process. So it's a win all round. It's like going for a picnic and there being enough sandwiches for anybody, and I love sandwiches. And then we got to the main event of the evening, and fair play WWE, because it certainly does seem like you've created three major stars here that everybody loves. So this was an up all day long. Samoa Joe and Roman Reigns not only had a match that felt fast-paced, intense and exciting, but everybody bought into it as if it was that as well, and by the end of it, it was like we were watching two massive stars go at it for the richest prize in the game. That's what we need from our main events in Raw. If the show is about to come to a close and I know that everyone involved is awesome and exciting, I'm like, man, I'm so happy I waited around even though it's been about 3 hours and 15 minutes. And then what happened afterwards? The man himself returned, Braun damn Strowman. He ate everybody alive to the point even Samoa Joe and Roman Reigns were like, man, we're going to have to team together to try and stop him. And even then Braun was like, you can't stop me. I'm Braun Strowman. And he kicked the crap out of everyone. And as Raw faded to black, who was standing tall? The Beast. Well, that's Brock Lesnar, but this Beast. Braun looked like a crazy maniac throughout all of this. It's no surprise everybody loves him. Because when you're booked to be a crazy maniac and he can pull that off, there's nothing not to love. If this is all leading to a four-way at SummerSlam, I'm going to be overjoyed because all four guys do feel like main event stars, and SummerSlam this year is being booked as one of the biggest events of the year. It's going to be like WrestleMania 2. So that all ties in. I'd be excited about that. I'm excited about it right now. It's not even been announced. Also, while there have been some minor indiscretions here and I've kind of nitpicked away at them, I actually think Raw has been awesome for the last few weeks. I think it was awesome tonight as well. We have longer term storylines, relationships are chopping and changing all the time, and the people at the top of the card feel like they should be at the top of the card. And even if you do still hate Roman Reigns, you can kind of accept it, because who's alongside him? Samoa Joe! And we all love Samoa Joe, so well done Raw, well done WWE, it's been a fun ride. And I'm with you. Now don't forget to leave a comment below and let us know what you thought about Raw. Like, share and subscribe. Head on over to WhatCulture.com and read the ups and downs articles with your eyes. And follow WhatCulture on Twitter at WhatCultureWWE. I am Simon from WhatCulture. This was Ups and Downs for Raw. And I'll see you again soon. I always see you again soon.